Hello everyone, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel and the 2025 WIP Parade. It is Sunday, January 5th, 2025. Happy New Year, everyone. This is my first regular FlossTube of 2025, and it is my annual WIP Parade. So far, I've only done WIP Parades once a year because it is a lot of work to put together, as many of you probably experience when you do WIP Parades or just go through your WIPs in general. So with that being said, it is going to be a regular floss tube. I will have a little bit of like starts and a WIP, I think. I think, yes, starts, WIP, a little bit of Enable Vision, some Happy Mail, those kinds of things, but it's going to primarily be the WIP Parade. That is what we're going to start with, and we'll just kind of sprinkle in those other things near the end. I will announce giveaway winners from Vlogmas 2024. Again, thank you guys so much for all of your kind comments on Vlogmas. It was an absolute blast to film, and I'm already working on ideas and all of the things for next year. I have my little notebook of things that I want to do. So very, very excited about that and excited to announce all those winners. So a couple of notes before we jump into today's episode. First of all, I do an extensive description in my videos, and that is to make things as easy for you and for me. And that means that anything I talk about, I do try to at least put that information down below, if not a link, when and if possible. Now, with something like a WIP Parade, that means that my description is longer than what YouTube is going to allow me to put in my description. When that happens, I have gone to putting as much as possible in the description below the video here on YouTube, but the first pinned comment in the comments section does have all of the rest of the information, so you can always check that out if you're looking for something, and it will tell you in the description that I have continued it in the comments. That is just to make things as easy as possible. If I don't have a link for something, I don't put it down below. One thing that I have gotten so many questions about is, of course, the O Christmas Tree by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread from my last floss tube, The Finished Snowman. He is an old design, 2010, 2011, I believe, so he is not new. I did pick him up from Country Stitches Online, which is Brenda Gervais' online shop. It is currently closed as of the filming of this video right now. She will reopen. She generally closes near the end of the year, takes a little bit of time off, and she will reopen, and you'll have to reach out to her at that point, or you can reach out to brick and mortars. I do not know of an online source that carries that chart, so sorry about that. So hopefully when she reopens, you can purchase directly from her. I do have a lot of WIPs today, and there is no shame in my WIP game. I am comfortable with the amount of WIPs I have. Comfortable might be pushing it. I do have a lot. Do I have as many as I've seen some people post that they have? No. Do I have more than others? Probably. That is okay. My goal is I started them because I love them, and there is no point in having a chart if I'm not going to stitch it. And if it's just a start and it's a WIP, that is fine. I am okay with that. That is kind of my philosophy regarding the amount of WIPs I have. If my count is correct, I'm just going to tell you guys up front, 48. I have 48 WIPs. Now, Some of those may be UFO'd. What is a UFO, you may ask? It is an unfinished object, and they may be permanently UFO'd, and I also know there's one or two. I think there's two for sure. There could be more. I'll let you know as we go through them that may get restarted. So while they are currently a WIP, they may just get put back into my kitted projects and be restarted later on, and we will discuss that. It's generally a fabric issue for me because my tastes have changed and I have really settled into my comfort, what I like, what I enjoy, and I notice the things that I want to stitch on are the things that I still want to stitch on them. They're things that are started on a fabric that I do enjoy. So there is that. I do want to talk about this year's plan as well. That will be a little bit more near the end of the video, and we are going to do very much like I did in my fully finished parade, or my fully finished parade, where I go by season or occasion, and I'm going to show you all of them in that genre, and they will be broken down in the description by that as well, so it hopefully makes it easy to find. I do put timestamps down below for your convenience, so if there is a certain section that you're more interested in going and checking out, please do so. Every effort has been made to find the fabric, and if I have used a floss conversion, I will let you know. The floss conversion may not be listed in this video. As I just mentioned, there is a lot of content in this video, and I am really allotted a certain amount of space. But as I work on those WIPs, I will be putting those in regular FlossTube episodes, and I may have them on my Instagram already, but I will let you guys know that as I am going through my WIP parade. As we dive into this WIP parade, it is like seeing old friends, and in some cases, old nemesis. So let's dive in. I will be doing the top-down camera today so you can really see as much of the stitching as possible, and I will have across the screen the chart name, who it's by, and when possible the fabric, and if I don't know the fabric, I will be telling you that. And I don't have any love or Valentine's WIPs. I know. What in the world? I went and looked. None. So we are going to dive into spring, and I have 4. We have Blooming Tiny Town by Heart in Hand. This is my progress on this, and I have not picked this up again since last spring. I am to this house right here, so I only have a tiny bit left on this, and then I will be finishing this into a drum like I did the Big Hearted, isn't it Big Hearted Tiny Town? The Valentine's one. So this is Blooming Tiny Town. This is stitched on 32 count Lagoon by Fiber on a Whim, 2 strands over 2 with all of the called for floss. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit closer so you can see that. There we go. I think that's better. And that again is my progress. And I know I stalled out on this. More than likely, it's the 2 strands for me, or spring was over and I was ready to move on to Patriotic. But I'm very happy with this, and I am excited to get this turned into a springtime drum and add that to my spring decor. I think it will be so pretty on this. It looks so pretty on this blue fabric, and I opted for the blue as opposed to a more neutral, and I love it because it kind of looks like a sky. Next, we have Spring Folk from Hands On Design. And I am here, so I'm about halfway done on Spring Folk. I am stitching this on 32 count Driftwood by Fabrics by Stephanie, using the called for floss, 2/2, and specialty stitches, which I think there is 1, 2, 3. Is there just 3 rows of them on this one? It looks like it. So I have done, I'm kind of doing them as I go, and that's with the pearl cotton, and I love it. Next, we have As He Said by Sweet Wing Studio. This is stitched on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R, and I think I'm using a combination of called for and what I want. Maybe as I wasn't able to get a couple of things, if I'm not mistaken, I need to write down the full conversion, and likely as I finish stitching this, I will post that. This is another one that I think I thought in my head, I don't know if I'm going to finish this, I might UFO it. But then I looked at the cute little sheep and the cute bunny and the wonderful message, and I for sure am going to finish it. I do know this. See how there is no green in here? I am not crazy about the green in this chart. And I do remember, now that I've pulled this back out, thinking I am going to change this to another color. I don't think I've chosen it yet. So when I do, I will be posting that color conversion in my FlossTube and on social media. And this was in one of Alicia, the Fanciful Flamingos boxes. I think this has been released, and I will link to it if it is out and widely available now. So, so pretty. My final spring piece is one that I know for sure I'm not going to finish on this fabric. I started this a couple of years ago. This is Hop to It by Annie Bees. I love the colors. I love that it's on this minty green fabric. I love the cute little bunny design. I do not love that I started it on 28 count linen. This is 28 count Green Sapphire by Zweigart. And what I think I'm going to do in my kitted up bag, I already know that I have pulled this Morning Mint by Atomic Ranch in a 36 count, which is slightly lighter, but it's still along the same lines of this beautiful color, to restitch it. This was in my bag, so I know that was my plan, is to restitch this on this. I believe that what I'm going to do is stitch this now on 36, and then when I'm finished, I will give away what I've started, which is quite a lot, and the chart. And so whoever will, win it or adopt it would get everything you need to stitch this. So that's Hop to It by Annie Bees Folk Art. And that is my final spring WIP. Summer also has 4 WIPs, and summer is one of my hardest seasons to stitch for some reason. I don't think I have touched this in over a year. This is Watermelon Summer by Cherry Hill Stitchery. I am stitching this on 36 count Water Spirit by Seraphim, which I love this fabric. I love how tiny this is going to be on here. In my same bag, there is a bonus pattern that says Yum that would be really cute to do a little bonus with. And then I do have the watermelon seeds chart in here as well that I thought would be super cute on here. I think I am stitching it with a lot of the called for. I might have switched out. Oh, I'm almost certain I stitched out 310 DMC for Black Coffee from Classic Colorworks. But otherwise, I'm using Ladybug and Steamed Broccoli from Classic Colorworks. And if I'm not using B5200, I'm probably using an overdyed. So that is Watermelon Summer from Cherry Hill Stitchery. This last year, we did the Biscornu Sal using the Hands-On Designs summer basket, fall basket, winter basket, or autumn basket charts. I stitched the summer basket in real time. I also stitched this one in 40 count. So I stitched this one, I lie. We stitched this one in 32. I stitched this one in 40. This is the one that we stitched during the sale. I stitched this one on 40 count, and this one is going to be on 36 and on charcoal. I wanted to show how the same colors, these are the called for colors, look on charcoal fabric, but at the time I was totally burnt out on stitching biscornus, and so I set this one aside, and I would like to get that one finished up for my stack. I know I talked about that in my finish parade because it will look really cute with those. So that is going to be this one right here from the summer basket from Hands-On Design, and this is stitched on 36 count charcoal gray linen from Zweigart, 1 strand over 2. Just this morning, my friend Lori told me that she wants to try to finish this by Kansas Day, which is January 29th. Thanks, Lori. As a native Kansan, I probably should have known that, but I knew it was in January. I just couldn't remember the date. But we had picked this up at our L&S when it was open before they closed, which was called Heart's Desire here in Wichita, Kansas. And Erica Michaels had done a class there, I believe, in 2021. And it is this wonderful Amber Waves Berry. And I do have a small start here. I remember thinking I was struggling with the stalks of wheat, which I probably was. I started this a long time ago, and it looks like there's a stain on my linen. I need to determine if I want to change my linen and start over, or if I want to use this. I would really like to get this little berry done for summertime display. I know in the past when I've talked about this, and I bet you I haven't picked this up in well over a year either, that my dad was a farmer, wheat farmer too, here in Kansas. So this kind of has a lot of significance to me, and I would really like to get this stitched. So maybe with Lori's encouragement, I will get that one finished up here very soon. Finally, I started this. I believe there was a sale going on maybe this summer. It's the Berry Basket Blueberry, or it was the Berry Basket Sal, I believe. There is the blueberry from Kathy of Hands-On Design, strawberry, and blackberry. I have them all in my bag because I want to stitch them all, and I want to stitch them all on the same fabric. So I have here 32 count raw from Zweigart, and I am stitching all of the called for floss, it's all of the DMC, on the raw linen, and really I am doing good. You stitch it kind of into a little triangle shape and then make it into a berry. And yes, I'm using the called for linen, all of the called for floss, 2/2. So pretty, and I want to stitch the other ones as well. I only have one unfinished patriotic stitch. Do I have many kitted up? Yes, but the only WIP I have is the And Stripes from Teresa Kitten Stitcher. This is Shakespeare's Peddler, and I did buy this when it was a collaboration between Paulette of Plum Street Samplers and Teresa of Shakespeare's Peddler. So mine looks like this. You can now purchase them, the stars as one chart and stripes as the other. In my finish, you saw the stripes version, the Plum Street version, all stitched. So that I'm just showing that again. Here is my start on the stripes barn. And I haven't started the ampersand yet. this is what I want to finish before I move on to any other Patriotic this year. In fact, this isn't in my WIP closet. This is in a portfolio or folio for when I get the urge to stitch Patriotic. So this is my Patriotic stitch that's kind of ongoing. I have not picked it up in months, but I do keep it out so that this can be the one that I work on. I love the little quilt there on the barn, and these are just a joy to stitch. They are going to look so good when all finished. I absolutely love these designs. So that is it for my summer / Patriotic section. For my autumn section, I have 8 WIPs. One of those might be a restart, which we will discuss here in just a second. And then we're going to roll into Halloween after that, which is even more. I think I might have mentioned this in my Finish FFO parade, that my Halloween section by far has the most WIPs, but you'll notice that in my finishes, I had probably one of the least amounts for that section. So that's probably why I have so many WIPs, and it's my absolute favorite season. So I definitely need to work on some of those this year. Let's start with my 2024 birthday start. This is Autumn Cloche from Hello from Liz Matthews, and I am going to have to zoom out because she is a big, big girl. This is my start. I have the cloche stitched, and then I did start working on the wonderful design here along the bottom, which does have quite a lot of little fill-in as well. I haven't even gotten to any of the pretty parts of this. This is being stitched on 40 count milk coffee by XJU Designs. I love this fabric. I love this stitch. I am stitching it with all of the called for NPI floss, 1 strand over 2. And this also is another piece that is not being put away like for this season. This lives in a folio in my project basket so that when I am tired of stitching a seasonal piece or a sal or whatever I have going on in my seasonal or my monthly basket, I can pick this up and stitch on. That's kind of my plan for this year, is to kind of have those things in my basket that I work on and don't put away. So this is my birthday start for 2024, and my goal is to have this one finished by my birthday this year, which is in November. I have a long time till we get there, and I fully intend to have this completed by then. Next up, from the Between Friends book from Hands On Design and Summer House Stitchworks, I have the On the Vine sampler. Very close to a finish on this one. I am stitching this on 36 count Dandelion by Color and Cotton with my own color conversion of color and cotton threads. I have posted that on my Instagram, and when I finish this, I will post it here on YouTube again. For now, though, to save time in the description box, I'm not going to list it all out, but I am loving stitching this. And this Dandelion fabric, it's not showing super great here with my overhead camera, but it's kind of got a yellow tint to it, and it just is beautiful. Not sure how I'm going to finish this yet, but probably will be framing it. Just need to get a little more stitching done, and this will be a finish. Okay, autumn, more autumn. This was started 2 years ago, and I have not picked it up again, and I do not know why. I think I'm stitching this on Milk and Honey, but I am not 100%, and this is one that I didn't look. If I go look before I get this loaded to Instagram, I will have it here on the screen what this is exactly. This is the Autumn Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I am stitching with Color and Cotton Pumpkin Pie, which is that the called for? It is. 1 strand over 2 on 36 count fabric. And I love it. I don't know why I've never come back to it. I think this was the first one. Am I right about that, you guys? It was this and then winter and then Valentine's, I think. And I just never came back to this one, but I love it. It's so pretty. And this pumpkin pie, the variegation in this floss, I guess I should zoom back in now, is absolutely stunning. Now that we don't have that giant cloche here on the screen. There we go. So this lives in my Primrose Cottage fall bag. I actually have several charts in there that I'd like to stitch, and we need to finish that one up because I love it. That is Autumn Quaker by Primrose Cottage. Next, I have Harvest Moon by Annie Bees, which was a release this year. I did start it and I love it. So here is my start. I'm probably going to have to zoom out again. I started over here in the top right corner and I worked my way across so that I would know how wide it's going to be. And then I started working down, and I did go ahead and stitch my flowers. I started the flag here. I love that it has this flag on this design. And then I started the pumpkin and the cat here. My hope was to get this stitched, bring the border down, work on the flag, and then maybe start to outline the house. This is being stitched on 36 count hay bale medium by Color and Cotton with all of the called for over dyed threads. They're all Gentle Arts, as you can see here. And I love this piece. I think it is so pretty. So that is Harvest Moon from Annie Bees. This was a quick start and never got back to it. At the end of October, this is Autumn Swan by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I did start down here with the green on the bottom. And I did the border and I started the patchwork pumpkin, but that is it. So that is just the tiniest start for Autumn Swan by Brenda Gervais. This is being stitched on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R, 1 strand over 2. I can definitely tell that my fall was a dumpster fire, my fall 2024, by just the amount of projects started but not completed. This is Plum Street Samplers Dear Friends. This was a sal hosted by my friends Jody, Simply Stitchin' Ocala, and Felicia of Floss and Blocks. And this is being stitched on 36 count Sugar Cookie by Color and Cotton with all of the called for threads. I did start over here on the left side and I got my tree built and some of the leaves filled in. Love this one. So pretty, and I like it on this fabric as well. So I did pick up for just a little bit on Thanksgiving the Gather In from Plum Street Samplers. In 2023, I had started and I think I had done this. The little green, the little bit of fence, and these pumpkins. That was my 2023. In 2024, I went up, I did the roof line, I did the chimney, a little star, and then I did most of the star here on the barn. And that was my 2024. What can I do in 2025? I really would love to get some more progress on this. This is one of my favorite pieces. And I just think it's funny how little I've done on it. So that is the Gather In from Plum Street Samplers, stitched on 40 count whole grain by, no, it might be, I have no idea. I know I got it at Kitten Stitcher. And I'm stitching called for floss 1/2. I know I did talk about this in my regular Stitching with Nichol FlossTube, that when I had started this, I almost had UFO'd it or started over, because stitching on 40 in 2023 was still fairly new to me, and this fabric is a little tighter than some, and I didn't think I liked it. Well, since then, I have stitched a lot on 40, and I have really found I love 40. And so stitching this was a piece of cake. I really think now if I would just spend a little bit more, spend some quality time with this piece, I would have a lot more progress. Just goes to show that the more you practice, the better you can get. My last fall WIP for my last fall WIP is Laughable. It is from the Winds of Autumn book by Blackbird, and I don't even really know what direction this is. I'd have to open my thing and look at my chart. But I am stitching this big berry here. This is called, The First Winds of Autumn is what this is. And I started it, and that's all the further I've gotten. I've had it kitted up for 2 years. It's one of my favorite things, and I love that. I want it to be a focus for this year at some point, not January focus, but at some point this year I will make that a focus. I actually love so many things from this book. I showed this piece, this October 31, finished stitching. It's not made into the drum yet, but it will be. And then in my Halloween section, I have another one, but I really would like to do, I think, everything in this book. I absolutely love, love, love this book. I am stitching The First Winds of Autumn on 40 count rustic drab by XJU Design, 1 strand over 2, all of the called for floss. And it's not super impressive because, I don't hardly have anything stitched. Halloween section. So before we put the Winds of Autumn away, I did want to share that I am stitching from the Winds of Autumn book, the Spell of the Moon, which is this stitch down here. It's the owl sitting on the branch. I love this. And I am stitching this on 40 count Time Goes by Seraphim. All the called for colors, 1 strand over 2, and I just kind of cut off this little scrap of the Time Goes By from another stitch I'm working on, but I really love the color and the modeling on this. And I have the tiniest start here as well. This was when I was gearing up for No New Start November, and I had all these lofty goals that I was going to be able to stitch on lots of things in November, not knowing that November was a dumpster fire. So I have lots and lots of Halloween and fall WIPs. Next up in my Halloween WIPs is Jack's Bash by Plum Street Samplers. This was a new start for me this year. I have always admired this when I see others stitching it. I am stitching mine on 36 count Buttermilk by Color and Cotton, 1 strand over 2, all of the called for floss. Here is what it's going to look like. I started up here in the top left corner, and I've got a couple of the flowers and the haunted house, and I started here on the alphabet. Really loving stitching this one. I have said this before, Plum Street, for some reason, I love how it feels to stitch them. I find them very comforting to stitch. Love that. Oh, it's going to be so pretty. This was a restart for me this year. It is the Salem Sisters Apothecary by Primrose Cottage. I had talked a lot about this back when I restarted it, that I had started stitching on a much larger fabric, trying to make it fit the finishing board that I had purchased from Primrose Cottage. And I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I could totally destash this and pass it along to someone who wants to use it instead of sitting here in my house, which is what I did, and stitch this on a count of fabric that I want. So I am stitching this on 40 count Tobias by Seraphim, 1 strand over 2, and I am way further than I was when I was stitching this on the 28 or 32. I can't even remember. I'm sure it was the called for 32 count. Yep. So really love it, and I will figure out a fun finish for this once I have it all the way stitched. But I am really loving how it is turning out, and I love it on this fabric. It gives that old-ish vibe that this has that is really, really cool. I have always loved Casting a Spell by Blackbird, finished in this box from Hobby Lobby. I did purchase this box. I haven't done anything with it yet, but since this is all I've got stitched, I think we're okay. I started it this year really, really late in the season. I am stitching it on the called for, which is 30 count. Oh, I wrote it down. I am stitching it on 30 count Confederate Gray by Weeks Dye Works, 2 over 2. And I am going to finish some of these slightly different. Some of these are in the box like a little bit flat to the bottom of the box is kind of what I want to say. And these are raised up. I am going to finish mine slightly different. I'm not exactly sure yet how, but I do want to finish my box like this. I love that look. And I started with the Halloween. It stitches up pretty quickly. And again, this is Casting a Spell from Blackbird. Next up, I have Midnight Watch from Blackbird. This is one that I had super hoped to finish this year, and it didn't happen. That's okay. I made good progress. I had started this in 2023 and hardly had anything. And this year I really made an effort. I got the border all the way done. I worked on all of this. I did all of this part, and I started the alphabet down here. Very, very happy with what I did manage to do. I am stitching on 36 count Bramble by Picture This Plus. All of the called for floss, 1 over 2. Love this fabric so much, and I love this stitch. I really, really love this. It's going to be this nice, it's pretty skinny, little Halloween sampler, and it's beautiful. I need to finish filling in the moon. I know I got bored with that at some point. And so I started on one of the leaves here, but I love it. This is one you really have to pay attention to the border. I'm not missing the little berries in some of these areas, nor did I miss count. You really had to pay attention because it's very irregular depending on what comes up next to it. So, and the other thing you have to pay really close attention to is the colors down here in the alphabet. Some are the gray and some are black. Did I pay attention to that? Nope. Did I have to rip things out? Yep. But I even put 2024. I may have to rip that out and put a 5 in. Oops. Didn't even realize I had done that. That's pretty funny. So anyway, that'll be a 2025 finish. Just ignore that 4. We'll pretend. I should know better. That was my, we're going to get this done this year. And that was a lie. So I'll take that out and I'll put in a 5. I hope. No, let's go. Let's just say we will be putting in a 5 this year. So that is Midnight Watch from Blackbird. So still with all of my starts there before November started, I did start the Cat in the Moon from With Thy Needle and Thread. And I am stitching this on 40 count Winter Brew by R&R, one strand over 2, all of the called for floss, and that is where I'm at on this one. Now, that being said, this piece of fabric actually goes with several different projects, and I knew this when I filmed my finish video, but the reason I put 57 plus finishes in my finish in FFO video is because I knew I had other finishes that I forgot about. I actually had 2 little scissor fobs I stitched that I gave as gifts that I didn't count into my 57 finishes. And then because I have this piece of fabric in my WIPs, I had forgotten that I've actually finished a couple more, but we're just going to leave them in here, and when I finish them into ornaments, we can count them in my 2025. But I have some other pieces. I have Trick or Treat and Wicked Without Coffee here. So this one up here is With Thy Needle and Thread from the Halloween Jubilee, I believe. Isn't that Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee from With Thy Needle and Thread? And then I have Wicked Without Coffee, and that's from Primrose Cottage. So those are also on this same piece of 40 count Winter Brew. Now, that being said, my next WIP is the Ghosts and Goblins from the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee, which is this piece right here. And I'm stitching all of them on this piece of fabric. I'm making all of mine into ornaments for my Halloween tree, and that was part of the reason I've just left them here. But I do hope to get back to them this year and hopefully get a few more of these finished. I just love all of them. I have a whole bag. I also have my Primrose Cottage 13 Spooky Smalls in here. I have a couple of other patterns in here, but I love them, and I fully intend to finish the Cat and the Moon as a round ornament instead of in this basket for my tree. So again, we have Ghosts and Goblins from With Thy Needle and Thread from the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee, and we also have the Cat and the Moon from With Thy Needle and Thread. Next, we have just the teeniest start that I started at Stitch West when I finished something else. It is Plum Street Samplers Bony Bunch. I am stitching this on 36 count charcoal gray linen, 1 strand over 2 with all of the called for floss. I started up here at the top, and I just have the tiniest little start on this one. This next one is one that I'm super sad that I haven't touched since 2023, and that is Hello from Liz Matthews, the Pumpkin House. I love the concept of stitching half of it on one color of fabric and the second half on another color. She did come out with another design that I kitted up but haven't started, so it won't be in the WIP parade. But I love this. So I am stitching this on 32 count Haunted by Picture This Plus, 2 strands over 2 using the called for NPI silks. This was my first introduction to NPI silks, and I love them. I haven't started the bottom portion of the house, but that is going to be on 32 count Toasted Almond by Fabrics by Stephanie, and I love this piece. Love this piece. Eager to stitch on this again. Okay, my last Halloween start and WIP is Goodness Gracious. I started this year. This was a release this year from With Thy Needle and Thread. I did purchase this as a kit from Farm Girl Dry Goods, and I am going to say right now, this fabric is 36 count Boot Camp by Be Stitch Me. When I hold it up to the camera, you can see it quite a bit better. As I go away, it really ghosts. I don't mind stitching it. I've enjoyed stitching it. I feel like I can see it pretty well when I'm stitching. Yeah, you can see it there good. But I think what stalled me out on this one was the fact that every time I would photograph it or I look at it on the camera, I don't use, the fabric is very mottled. I can't decide if I want to keep going on it or if I want to switch fabric. I think my particular piece of this boot camp by Stitch Me is super, super mottled. More so than the one here on the example, maybe. Because look, that just looks so much darker. I also know that photo editing can make it look this way. I just haven't decided. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. This one may be a restart just because I feel very iffy about this fabric. But this is 36 count Stitch Me Boot Camp by Stitch Me, and it's the Goodness Gracious, which I love. And I want to love this piece. So I really think I should probably restart it. I should have restarted it when I first initially thought that I wasn't loving this fabric, but I love stitching on the fabric. I just don't know that I love this modeling. You guys tell me down in the comments what you think. I'm thinking I should restart. Okay, let's talk about Christmas and winter, and I'm going to group them together. This I started at least a couple years ago. This is the Big City Christmas from Country Cottage Needleworks. I have all of them. I did start these, and I cut my piece of Lugana to fit them. It's a 32 count Lugana. I hope I wrote it down. Nope, I did not. And this is a piece I'm going to UFO. I have not decided if I'm going to destash or not, but I potentially am going to destash with all of the charts. I don't enjoy stitching 2 strands at all. And I like this, but I don't love it. Maybe if I stitched on a different fabric, I don't know. So for now, I am UFOing this. That means it's going somewhere different. It's not going to be in my WIPs, but I did want to show it because I have not made any progress on this. Even though it keeps showing up year after year, this is all I've stitched on it. And I think again, it's a fabric issue. It is not a design issue. It is a fabric issue. And I'm going to set it into the UFOs for a while, and then I will decide if I want to go ahead and destash or not. Honestly, though, if anyone wants to claim this piece and wants to finish stitching it and has the charts, and they want to stitch on 32 count Lugana, message me, email me. Let me know. Don't leave it in a comment. Email me at the email address below. I'm happy to mail this off to you. Instead of languishing in my stash, I would just as soon send that piece, because I know even if I do pick these charts back up, I am not going to stitch on this fabric. Okay, so my next piece is another one I'm going to UFO. Poor Christmas. Christmas is getting a bunch of UFOs. At least for now. I like the colors now that I look at it. This was from the Jingle Ball 2023, and it is from Hands On Design, Jingle Around the Block. Really, I could almost rip out this and just have a little Jingle Bells ornament. I think it's real. I like that part of it. I did change my fabric to 36 count antique white. So I do love that rather than the called for, which I did not care for. It was much, much bigger. So I can stitch 1 strand over 2. I really haven't decided. So this is another piece that I am going to put in my UFO. I'm just going to take it out of my WIPs. And I will decide later whether I want to finish stitching it, adjust it, make that an ornament, or just UFO it and destash altogether. We're going to get all the problems out of the way real fast before we move on. Now, this piece I love, and it's one of the first ones I did or started when I came back to cross stitch, and it's Little House Needleworks Rudolph's Sampler. The problem is I do not like the fabric. I am going to restart it so that I can stitch with one strand of floss. This is stitched on a Lugana, so I am happy. This is another piece that I am happy to pass on if you have this chart. I have this entire bottom portion pretty much done. So this is being stitched on a 32 count Lugana. I do not know exactly what it is. I don't think I have it here. It's probably in a past floss tube. I apologize. If I find it before I upload my video, I will put it on the screen. But it is a 32 count Lugana. I'm stitching 2 over 2 with all the called for, but I am going to keep this because I love this design. And I am just going to restart it on something else. So I'm going to keep it in the kitted projects, but it technically is a WIP, so I wanted to show it here. And again, if you have this chart and you want this start a fabric and you want to finish stitching it, because I've done that with my Halloween rules from Lizzie Kate, and I love the viewer who asked for it is thrilled and has been stitching on it. So I would just as soon pass on this start and let someone else finish it who loves Lugana. Speaking of Lizzie Kate, Christmas rules. Haven't picked this up in a hot minute. And here is another one. Didn't realize I had my original in here. It is fun, a fun comparison. If anyone wants this and has the Lizzie Kate Halloween, or not Halloween, Christmas rules charts, I do not have near as much done on this one, but I am happy to gift this. It's stitched on 25 count mushroom Lugana, 2 over 2. It wouldn't be the charts, but if you want to request this, drop me an email and tell me you want this piece and I'll give it to you. I restarted mine on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha 1 strand over 2. Look at the difference. Isn't that funny? Look how tiny and cute it is. I started this a long time ago and I have never come back to it. I would really like to work on this one too. Love, love. Super cute. No, don't need that needle. But if you want my start, let me know. Would love to gift it to someone who would like to work on it on that size and count of fabric. Technically, this is a WIP, even though I did show this to you guys as a finish. I'm leaving it in the WIP because I am stitching Oh Christmas 3 from Hands On Design. And before I finish this one into an ornament, I want to stitch the other 2. I have not started them. So I'm going to go ahead and consider this in the WIPs. I did change the colors. If you've seen any of my other videos where I talk about that, I switched out the blues for reds so that it matches my tree better. I'm stitching this on 28 count Dusk by Picture This Plus, 2 strands over 2. Okay, my next piece. Didn't iron it. This is Winter Moon by Plum Street Samplers. I did buy it from Country Sampler last year. Now it is readily available. I have not picked it up to work on anymore. And I absolutely love this piece. So I really think I probably will add this to my basket after I finish a couple of things. It's okay with me if it isn't here in January. It may be February that I put this in my basket to work on, but I absolutely love this piece. I think it's so beautiful. And this is, again, Winter Moon by Plum Street Samplers. I am stitching this on 40 count. It'll be on the screen. I apologize. This was one that I forgot I had to go look up because I don't have it anymore. I bought it kitted and I threw away the package. So I forgot, but I'm sure in a past video, which I will go research and look it up, and I'll put it here on the screen for you guys. I see lots of people working on this one. It is an absolute joy, as are all of Plum Street. I really like stitching Plum Street. It is really beautiful. Okay, this is a WIP that I have picked up and worked on this year, but I still have a lot to do on it. And this is, I'm sorry I didn't iron this one either. This is Rudolph's Reindeer Games by Cherry Hill Stitchery, stitched on 28 count vintage country mocha 2/2 with all of the called for floss. And I really do think that the thing holding me up is stitching 2 strands of floss. I love this. It goes with all of my other stitches that I have finished with this, in this like vignette in collection. I have stitched him before as an ornament. I love him. And I plan to get this one done right away, as I've mentioned recently. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the Christmas stitching here at the end of the video after the WIP parade is finished. But he isn't going back into the closet. He is going, he's in a project bag for work on currently, in between when I need little breaks from my blessing sampler. So this is again Rudolph's Reindeer Games by Cherry Hill Stitchery. My next stitch in this winter Christmas section is Let It Snow by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. And again, I did not iron this because this was a current WIP that I've been working on in my basket. Here is where I'm at. I have worked a little bit more. I've started on kind of those ghosty snowflakes, which I love. I love the texture that those add to the background. And I've been working on my pine cone here and the little branch. I haven't got a whole lot more done on this because I switched over to my blessing sampler, but I love this. And so this is in my basket for January. This is stitched on 40 count Tobias by Seraphim, 1 strand over 2. I do need to still pick up the little beads here because I'm planning on beading mine, and I'm going to finish it into a little pillow just like Brenda finished. I love that. So this is Let It Snow by With Thy Needle and Thread. Next, I have a completely new start that fits into my winter section. I think this is my last one for the winter section, and it is a new start since the last time I was here last week. Completely random, except that it's been in my mind. I've had all the floss for it, but then I went and did a little conversion. But it's been on my radar and printed out for a while. In the 2021 Christmas winter edition of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, and I am going to pop up a picture here on the screen of the design that I'm stitching because I didn't print out the cover page. Oh, or did I? I did not. It is Dancer by Barbara Anna. I have never stitched a piece by Barbara Anna, but I've loved it since I saw it. It was one that I downloaded from the digital version of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, and it has been on my radar. It's been in my binder. I printed it out and put it in my binder because I wanted to stitch it. And on a whim this week, I decided to start it. And you guys, I'm loving it. Loving it. So I did do a bit of a conversion, and I didn't iron it because I've been going back and forth between it and my blessing sampler, but you can see that it's going to stitch quick. I did change my fabric. I did not want to stitch on the called for 32 count basalt Lugana. I'm sure it says somewhere. It was stitched on that even weave, and it's really, oh yeah, it's Murano Splash Granite Linen. Oh, it says linen. Well, I didn't want to stitch on 32 count, and I think that that particular fabric only comes in the 32, but I have lots of charcoal gray linen by Zweigart in 36 count that I love, so that's what I'm stitching mine on. I did start up here, and I'm going to keep on the screen. You're going to see the split screen so you can see what it looks like with the finish, since I didn't print out the cover sheet. And you can purchase this chart now if you don't have a Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher subscription. I think 123 Stitch has this chart, so I will link to it. But I started in the upper left with the antlers and the little snow and stuff. And I love the little village sitting in his antlers. It goes on top of his head and then in the other antler over here. But the face to me is just stunning. And I love the colors. And I know that a lot of people are moving on from Christmas, but again, we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. I'm fully invested in stitching winter, snowmen, Valentine's. Absolutely. I'm here for it. But I want to stitch some Christmas still too. And I decided, since I felt like starting it, I was just going to go ahead and do it. So I'm excited. This is literally I think it's only 2 to 4 hours of stitching. It's going super duper fast. I did do a little conversion here. It's really messy. When I get a little bit more of him stitched and I post on Instagram, I will post my complete conversion. Some colors I did, like, ignore this. I did go back to 647. That's why don't look at this too close, because there probably are some adjustments. I tried a couple of different things with the antler and ended up going with the DMC. But for the face of the reindeer, which I only have kind of the nose piece here, and then the eye will kind of, when the eyes come in, to me, the eyes just make him pop. All of him is variegated floss, and I think it's really going to look amazing. I think it's hard to see, but if I hold it up, do you see that the brownish black of the face going down his nose there? It's a brownish black, and I love it because it is up on the rooftop by Color and Cotton, and in real life it's got browns and blacks to it, and the variegation is just gorgeous. So love it. Anyway, completely random new start, but still a whip, and I still wanted to include it because I am loving it. My everyday section. It is probably, not probably, it's my biggest whip section, but I think I always get derailed by seasonal stitches. And by far the thing I get asked about the most, and I did not hit my goal, and I am sad about it, is my year in chalk from Hands On Design. And it is okay. You know, it's just a goal. It's okay if I don't make it. So the end of the year, that last quarter, derailed me very badly in almost everything. And so I have made some decisions and choices this year just to kind of give myself more time to stitch what I want. And my first goal and plan is to get back to this. And I do want to do this front facing because she's big. But this is my A Moment in Chalk by Hands On Design. I have October, November, December blocks, and then all of the scroll work in white to do. So I do still have quite a bit left. Sure do. But the months don't go, or the months go quickly, is what I should say. And I'm okay. I'm okay that I still have look at all of the stitching I did get done. I think I would rather focus on what I was able to achieve rather than what I wasn't. I love it. It's beautiful. After I complete my blessing sampler for January, this is my goal number 1. I'm not going to host a sal or anything like that until this piece is finished. This is something I really want done. I want framed. And in order to do that, I really need to prioritize this piece. So I am going to be working on this. It is also living in my basket, my ongoing basket, instead of being whisked away to the whip closet. And I'm reevaluating my basket each month, but this kind of stays in there until it's done. And I just literally was not able to pick it up. And I just had to eventually give myself the grace to be like, That's okay. So it's being stitched on 32 count charcoal gray Lugana 2/2 with all of the called for gentle arts, and I love it. Next up in my everyday or craft, it's kind of my everyday stitches or craft room stitches, is the Dutch Tomato Pin Keep by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I'm going to look at my chart here off of camera to see where I'm at. I think I'm halfway. I am halfway. Oh man. Okay, that's exciting. I am excited to get back to this one. This is beautiful. It's monochromatic. I'm loving stitching it. Very excited to finish this one up. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, it's going to look amazing on my shelves. I've redone my shelves. I think I mentioned this. I still have got to sand the spackling and then repaint, but then I'm going to show you guys. But I love this and cannot wait to have that one done. This is being stitched on 36 count vintage country mocha, which is the called for fabric, with DMC 22, which is the called for color. One strand over 2, and I love it. I really, really love it. By With Thy Needle and Thread, of course. And kind of it's just adding to my tomato vignette for my craft room. Another tomato piece, which was a restart this year, and this was the piece voted on to restart, I've just not got back to it, is the Mend Block Party by Hands On Design. And I will tell you that I am thrilled with my restart. I love this fabric and I fully intend to work on it. This is stitched on 35 count blush linen by Weeks Dye Works. I don't even know if Weeks Dye Works makes this 35 count anymore. I got this when my local L&S was still in business before they closed, and I love it. I'm using the called for colors on the blush linen, and I think it's amazing. I'm here for these pinky reds on the pink linen. I love it. Did I say I love it? I really do love it. So this is, again, Mend Block Party by Hands On Design, and I'm excited to do this mattress finish for it. I do know that I'll have to cut down my wool a little bit since this is smaller than, I believe these are all charted on 28. Yep, it's charted on 28 and I'm stitching on 35. So it will be smaller, but I am okay with that. Next up, I know in my finish parade I showed the spring green pears. The blue work pears were the ones that the community voted I start next. So I did, but I think that's all the further I've gotten. Oh, I've only started one, and I started the alphabet one. I am stitching with the called for Dinky Dyes Persian Jade on 36 count travertine by Color and Cotton. I love this. And I am excited to get back to these too. All along, I planned these blue work ones are going to go in my bedroom. My bedroom is all in blues, and I think this will just be so beautiful. I love these. Very, very pretty. These pears are a joy, and am I not mistaken? Did Annie hint that maybe there's some more pears coming soon? This is, of course, by Annie B's Folk Art, and she has blue work, the spring green that I did, and then there's the red or red work and one other. Can't think of what their name. I have all of them, and I have them all kitted, but this is the only other WIP I have. Okay, so when my other big projects are done, this will be a big project that I pull out to finish. This is, of course, the unironed version of This Is the Day by Plum Street Samplers. This is, I got quite a bit when I was stitching on this. Again, Plum Street is this way for me. Once I'm into it, I can just stitch and stitch and stitch. So I've got all the florals ready for the little urn that they go in. I'm stitching this on 36 count Winter Brew by R&R, all of the called for floss, and I love it. I really do. everything about this I love. Every single stitch I love. And so this is one that I'm excited to put back into the basket until it's finished. And I want this to be a 2025 finish. I have some loose goals for myself, and that is, there are a few. You've heard several things throughout, like I have my blessing sampler I want to finish here in January. I haven't shown you that one yet. My A Year in Chalk, that is to be finished first, above all else, above any more seasonal stitching even, really. And then I have my Plum Street. And then I have a little Christmassy stitching goal. A little. It's little. Haha. That's a sarcasm. That I'm excited. But this will go into a regular project bag once my Year in Chalk and Blessing Sampler are done. Because I love it. Next, I do have, this was from Liz Matthews' Patreon, and it might be one of my favorite things of the year. This is something else I would like when my blessing sampler is done to put on the front burner, because my bedroom, as I mentioned, is blue, and this is ginormous. I'm going to make this a bed pillow, and I think it's going to just match beautifully. So this is Busy Hands Happy Heart from Hello from Liz Matthews. This is what it's going to look like, but mine is on blue, of course. This is 20 count blue jeans linen by Weeks Dye Works. Now, I know I mentioned this back when, and I stitched all of this like right away. It stitches really, really fast. I think it's just 2 strands, isn't it? Am I doing 2 or 3? Whatever the instructions say, because it's giant. I didn't notice this when I started because I'm sure I started here so that I could stitch this way. And as I got further and further this way, I noticed that my margin got less and less. Now it is going to be a pillow, so I think I'm still okay. But clearly 1, 2, 3 Stitch didn't have quality control in the cutting department there. But we're good. I love it. I just think this is going to be so pretty on my bed. I'm kind of excited for the after Christmas cleanup, reset and restart, and want to get this on my bed to enjoy my stitching throughout my home, not just seasonally. So that is Busy Hands Happy Heart from Hello from Liz Matthews. And again, this is part of her Patreon. I am not sure when she's going to release this, but it is so good. And there's a framed piece as well that I think is nice. I even think Busy Hands Happy Heart would be a fun little stitch for a craft room or something, with even if you didn't want to do all the flowers. So pretty. Okay, my friend Jessica gave me this chart last year, and we did start it kind of just as a friend stitch, and I have never come back to it. What I started is what I have, so I didn't press it even. I would like to get it. This is Our Lasting Friendship by Blackbird. I am stitching it on 36 count Legacy 1/2 with all of the called for floss. And the idea is to kind of add friend initials in this section here. And it is a beautiful stitch. I really do love it. And I do love the colors of it. I need to get back to this one. I'm going to say that. I told myself I wasn't going to say that. But when you pull all of your stitches out and you see them, all of your whips out, it really does ignite that desire to stitch them. So pretty. Yet another big one that I had hoped to finish, but in 2024 and did not. Channing Street by Annie Bees. I've outlined a lot. I mean, this is about as big as it is, guys. This is as big as it is. I've got all my outline. I did work a lot on outline, and this was a restart. I did not like my first fabric at all. I'm super happy with my second fabric. So Channing Street is being stitched on 36 count harvest wheat by color and cotton, 1 strand over 2 with all of the called for floss, and I love it. I really do love it. I just need to get back to it. So good. So this is, I did start it. However, I don't have a very big start on it. And I will talk a little bit about why. This is Little House Needleworks Sheep Virtues. And my friend Shari so generously shared her charts with me. And I am starting with Hope. And I am going to stitch all of mine as one piece. I love the designs of all of these stitched as one piece. I think they're beautiful. The reason I have not come back to this is I told myself I had to finish A Moment in Chalk first. That one is a really big one. Also kind of has these blocks, you know, in it. Very similar to what this is going to be. And to me, I just really felt like I needed to finish that one before I work on this one. So that is why I am no further on this. I do love it. I am stitching mine on 36 count Milk Coffee by XJU, which I absolutely love. And I have a pretty big piece of fabric here. I can't remember. I have the dimensions. They might even be on here. Let me look. On 36, it will end up being 10.5 by 14. I have my, like, what the stitch count is going to be, what I cut the fabric, so I don't think I even cut it. Anyway, that is my Little House Needleworks Sheep Virtues, and this will kind of go into that ongoing rotation when I finish A Moment in Chalk. Again, that is my priority. My blessing sampler, A Moment in Chalk. For right now, that is my priority. Okay, then this is a very tiny start on this, and again, not coming back to it till I finish a couple of other things. But this is Sally Spencer by Birds of a Feather, and I am stitching mine on... No, this was another mystery. I lost my tag somewhere. It's a color and cotton. I'll find it. It'll be on the screen here because I hope. I spent 20 to 30 minutes going through my videos looking for where I started this, and I cannot find it. I'm going to do another search before this video goes up. This was only like one evening of stitching, and I am really happy with where I got on it. The chart is super, super small. And my friend, this is out of print currently. Crossing my fingers that Colorado cross stitcher Sherry, she is recharting many of these, yes, re-releasing. But she's having to chart. Yes, I guess she is having to rechart, and then she bought the rights to re-release these. She hasn't got to this one yet, but I am crossing my fingers that she is, and that she's going to chart it in color. That's me crossing my fingers. I love it. I've seen it finished by so many, and it's really, really beautiful. So thank you, Chantal, for loaning me your chart to stitch. And I am stitching mine in the Vicki Clayton Silks, first time using them, and it is beautiful. I'm excited to get back to this. Okay, so started with my friends Lori and Heather. We started the Polly Maria sampler from Hands On Design as a friend stitch, and I have never come back to it. I absolutely love it. Stitching it with Gloriana Silks, my first time using Gloriana Silks, and I love it. I love the blues. I am stitching this to frame it in my bedroom, and again, this is one that when I finish my blessing sampler and A Year in Chalk, this will be up to get it stitched and finished. I think some dedicated time on this and it wouldn't take long. I like stitching alphabets. but it's all in these colors that are so yummy. I absolutely love them. So good. So this is again Polly Maria from Hands On Design. I am stitching mine on 36 count old lace by Handmade by Number 12. I love Handmade by Number 12's linens as well. So good. Absolutely beautiful. And finally, I have my last WIP, and I am low-key obsessed with it. It is my blessing sampler, the first time I've done a blessing sampler for 2025, and it is Americana Blue from October House Fiber Arts. And I know I talked about this, that I had no idea what I wanted to stitch when I was contemplating doing a blessing sampler, and I finally ended up going through the charts I already owned instead of trying to buy something, and I found this one in my stash, and I remembered buying it, and it just immediately said, this one, this is your blessing sampler. And I am so glad that I listened, and I'm so glad I started it because I'm loving it. This is 3 nights of stitching, and I have maybe a little bit more to do for the first page. I'm very happy with it. So my goal for my blessing sampler is it is about 4 pages and then a tiny strip. It's just the way it broke it down. My plan is to get at least a page stitched a week. It's monochromatic. It is all blue jeans by Weeks Dye Works. I'm not even at a week, and I will definitely make the first goal plus some. So I just want to have it done by January 31st. That is my only goal, is to have it stitched, and then I will purchase a frame and I will lace it and do Lori Holt's lacing technique to frame it myself. And I love it. That's all I can say. I love this stitch. I love stitching everything except for these. I don't know why I don't like stitching these, and I have 4 left. I count them. So what I make myself do is I make myself stitch 1 every night. And then I allow myself to stitch anything else because I don't mind the rest of it. But I love it. So good. Okay, my friends. So I wanted to show, this is my current project situation. This is my January project bag. This has my blessing sampler. This bag has Christmas stitches. I have and stripes, my Americana stitch here. I have, that one's not supposed to be in here. That's always fun. My birthday stitch, and then a moment in chalk. These are the things this is where I pull from. Not my WIP closet, not all those wonderful charts and projects I just shared. This is what I am currently working on. I will reevaluate at the end of the month, and I will share what I'm going to work on for February when we get there. But it's great. It has a handle. I know my project bags are sticking up and it's kind of full right now, but I can just kind of carry it from location to location that I want to stitch in. And I love it. I love it so much. This basket, did I cut the tag off? No. I picked it up at Target, so I will have a link. It should pop up here somewhere, or it'll be right below in the description box, but it's small. That's kind of one of the other things. It made me pare down what I think. This is already more than what I can actually accomplish, but this is where I pull from. This is what sits next to me. This is what I am working on, and I love it. So that was the first thing I wanted to share with you. I mentioned that there was a Christmas bag in there. My plan for 2025, loose plan, is to do 25 Christmas projects finishes in 2025. So that does not mean they're all going to be big or anything like that, but I have been very disappointed, especially this year, in the lack of Christmas projects that I was able to do to achieve. So I am making a conscious effort to do and craft Christmas all year long, whether it be my cross-stitching, quilting, paper crafting, felting. There is going to be a focus on Christmas all year long. Now, realistically, that means 2 things a month. With 1 month, I need 3. Some of them are almost done. Some of them are really small. And I had 57 plus finishes this year. I can do 25 Christmas projects. So in 2025, if you're in, fantastic. If you're like, girl, that's crazy, that's okay too. But I really want to focus on that this year. So that is my only plan for 2025 is to do a focus on Christmas, not a specific designer or style or anything like that. I won't like all just be ornaments. I won't, I want to do a mix. I want to really work through what I have whips of. I want to work through what I have kitted up. I didn't even touch kitted projects in this video. There's a lot. And there's a lot of Christmas. Christmas probably has the most kitted projects out of anything I have. That is my plan. We're going to do it. I am going to try to very much be intentional this year and stitch. Yes, I love stitching in season. Of course, I love stitching in season. But always have a Christmas, 2 Christmas projects in my little basket at all times so that I can intentionally work on them. So with that being said, I have a fun little insert. I'm going to insert a video here for you guys. But my friends and my friends Lori and Karen, we went to the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, the Silver Needle does an amazing sale. I don't know how long they've done it. I know I shopped it online last year, but Lori and I live close, and we had wanted to go see our friend Karen who lives in Oklahoma. And so we made a girls' day of it, and we went down to the Silver Needle and did some shopping while they had their sale. We weren't there early enough to take advantage of the 25% off, which is what I did last year to get my shepherd's bush stockings that, yes, I still want to stitch. They're kitted. But we got there to take advantage of 15% off, which was amazing. I'm going to show you some of the things I picked up from there, and I'm going to insert a video of the shop. I did film a little bit of it, so enjoy the video. Hello, Happy New Year from the Silver Needle.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
show you just a few things, not everything that I picked up there, but I do want to show some of it. So they have a lot of Shepherd's Bush kits. I picked up this one. It is called Sweetland Sampler. Clearly, I love stitching patriotic. Also, I really want to make these patchwork, quilty, primitive hearts down here. No pattern for that in here. We're just going to wing it and figure it out. But I love this, and I love stitching Shepherd's Bush kits. So that's Sweetland Sampler. I also, yes, talking about stitching in season, I've been wanting to pick this up. It is the Valentine Sampler leaflet from With Thy Needle and Thread. I love the heart designs in here. I have it out of the package because I was looking at all of it and dreaming and planning. But I love this, so I picked that up while we were there. Other things from With Thy Needle and Thread I picked up that I don't have in my stash, all bundled up. I can't believe I don't even have this one, so I picked that one up to add to my stash. I picked up Henrietta & Co. for Easter. I don't know why I don't have that one either. I gave this away last year, and now I've decided I want it, so I picked up Cupid's Sampler. This was new last year from Brenda Gervais. We'll do all the Brenda Gervais first. How about that? I got Love Filled Heart. This picture is absolutely horrible, but I am really excited. I've already had this out of the package. I'm going to stitch this. That will be very fast. I love the shaped hearts. I do. I got the Valentine's Day Holiday Hoopla. I have her Valentine's book, and this really matches that theme. I didn't have that one. And then I have wanted this one as well, and I didn't have it. It's Happy Birthday America. And I love that little bird sitting in the basket with the flag. So that was my Brenda Gervais that I picked up. Then I picked up the Noel Tuffet from Shakespeare's Peddler. I won't stitch it on this light-ish red pink color. I'm going to stitch mine on red, and it's going to go with some of my other red fabric stitches, especially from Shakespeare's Peddler that I have in my stash. I have plans next year to do a whole bowl. This was a kit from, and this was one of their stitching circle club that the Silver Needle does every year. They had the Odds and Ends by October House Fiber Arts, and I thought these were really cute to add to my craft room decor. I especially love the little tag here, but this is so pretty. I don't know that I'll stitch it on the fabric that comes in this kit. It does come completely kitted, but it really matches so many of the other October House Fiber Arts stitches. So Lori and Karen and I all picked this up. I love that. And I had wanted to get this at Shepherd's Bush, and they were completely out, so I did get the Believe bag, and it's all kitted to stitch. Then from Thread Milk, I did pick up the Kansas little they're called the Statehood Splendor series. I picked up Kansas to stitch for me since I live in Kansas. And then I did pick up the Colorado to stitch this for my daughter. And then I did kit up one project minus fabric. I'll have to get it. I'm going to pop a photo here on the screen for you guys to see this because I don't think it's very impressive, but they had the sample there as always. But this is a Easter stitch. This is Cottontail and Company from Scattered Seed Samplers, and the the sample is what sold me. So I picked up all the floss for it. I'll have to use, they didn't have the called for fabric, which was vintage beeswax, which ironically I needed for something else here a few months ago and can't find it anywhere. But they made it into a pillow and it was so beautiful. So I picked this up for Easter stitching. I love it. And check out that finish that they had, the example. I mean, I was all over that thing, photographs. Loved it, loved everything about it. So I went ahead and got the fabric for that. Okay, couple more things. I know even in my WIP parade, I mentioned I love Hello from Liz Matthews, and she has a great Patreon. I love being in her Patreon. She has this wonderful reflections ornament. She posted all about it. She posted on social media, and she did chart it in with 2025 as well. I have it somewhere. Here it is. Let's put it with the things it goes with. Oh, do I bet I do have. Hey, look what else I found. There's that Barbara Anna stitch that I was looking for earlier. How handy. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. We'll put that with my stitch. So that was really, really fun. And I thought that the concept, she said, it's a reflection ornament, is a perfect way to document highlights or milestones at the year's end. The cross stitch pouch is a quick finish that holds any sentiment you'd like. And I thought, wouldn't that be a lovely thing to stitch for 2025 holiday, like to give as gifts to people? Or you could stitch one now and you could maybe include something great, like, and end up with 12 little slips of paper, like each month put in something. I don't know. I thought it was a really clever idea. So highly recommend Liz Matthews' Patreon. And speaking of Liz's Patreon, the exclusive until the 15th is delivering Christmas, which I love that it looks like the snowflakes are falling out of that tree that Santa is carrying. Super fun. And then Primrose Cottage, their Friday freebie came out for January, which is Winter Wonderland. And I definitely, I can't figure out how to put this on the screen. How about that? I definitely want to stitch this on the 46 count raw linen, like I've done the others, to do just a teeny tiny little pillow. So really fun. I think the only one I've not done is December's, but I love me a snowman. So that is that. If you love felt stitching, I talked about this in my last video. Plichta Design has a new release. I got the Love Notes die, and I also got these word dies from them, from Lizzie. And then I picked up a felt, floss, and sequin pack in Valentine's-y colors. Oh, I know, the final thing I was going to share. So I have that glass box that I put display stuff in. Well, Heart and Hand at Target came out with this one, and you couldn't put anything big in it, but if you have little things to display, like to stick down in here, I think this is such a cute little display box or organizer box. I mean, I'm sure it could be a jewelry box too, but I'm imagining like little hearts, or you could even put little teeny tiny things in here, snowflakes in here, snowballs. If you prop it open, you could fill the little openings with some things, and then even prop a little pillow or something up in here. But I just love these kind of things for future decor, and so I did pick this up. This is really, really cute. But I wanted to mention these because I do think that they're really fun as far as creating little vignettes. I put it back in here because I wanted to show how cute my friend Heather packaged this. Heather sent a beautiful Christmas card, and then she sent this, and I know she made him. Heather is an amazing crafter. So she put it in with all of this snowflake confetti, and if you're a paper crafter, keep this. Great for shaker cards. But look at this snowman ornament. You guys, I am obsessed. He is the cutest thing ever. Oh my gosh, look at him in the little jingle bell. He is going to be absolutely darling on my tree next year. And then my lovely, lovely viewer, Tabitha, she is such a dear. She sent a wonderful gift, and I want to show the card that she made because it is darling. Look at little Rudolph napping in the chair. How cute is that? Love that, Tabitha. And then she sent this beautiful geometry kitchen towel. I don't have one of these, but I have heard the most amazing things about it. This is gorgeous. Thank you. She sent this adorable little candle. Oh, it smells so good. Absolutely so cute. Look at this cute little spoon with the Valentine. I cannot wait to use this to style it. Also would be cute in that little box with Valentines, like fill them with hearts and all kinds of little goodies. Thank you, Tabitha. And then I'm so excited to show this because I'm going to go run it through the dishwasher and it's going to be my coffee mug. I love this. This is my color. This is my aesthetic. I love the font. I love that it says relax. This is so cute, Tabitha. I love it. Thank you so much for the wonderful gift. Then Tabitha also, she wanted to pass along this chart that I will have as a future giveaway. Thank you so much she's always so great at sending things that, she thinks that somebody in the community might love. So this will be a future giveaway. Thank you so much, Tabitha. A couple more cards to share. Lynn sent a card. Thank you so much, Lynn. And then my wonderful friend Karen sent this card. And then she made this when we met up, and Lori and I's gifts were each in little tags like this made out of felt. This is a Pasha Design die. I'm going to put like one of those cable rings through it, and I'm going to use this on my Christmas project bag. And then I can tuck little notes or something in it, but I thought it would be cute on my project bag. So thank you so much, Karen. It's time to announce the rest of the Vlogmas 2024 giveaway winners. Just as a reminder to everyone, I still have a few unclaimed Vlogmas giveaways. You have until January 15th, 2025 to claim your prize. Otherwise, I will put it back in rotation for this year's giveaways. So from day 22, the winner of the 4 Crafty Bluebonnet design charts is Kathleen Hallowell. Kathleen, if that is your comment shown on the screen, please email me at the email address shown right here with what you won and your physical mailing address, and I will get your prize out in the mail to you. The winner from day 23, that is the Annie's Keeper Floss Keeping System. I am not going to take everything out of the bag. The winner is Geraldine51. If this is your comment shown here on the screen, please email me again with what you won and your physical mailing address, please. Also, these are going to be shipped priority mail, so not in this. I don't want them to get broken. The winner of day 24, which is the Freezin' Season Club Ornaments, all 12 charts from Crazy Annie's Stitchin', designed by Annie Bees. The winner of these is Mitzi Clarendon. Mitzi, if this is your comment on the screen, again, please email me with what you won and your physical mailing address. And finally, we have our grand prize, which is the stitching setup that I use, lap desk, Daylight Halo Go metal book stand and magnets. The winner is Alice McFarlane. Congratulations, Alice. Again, please email me at the email address and that's listed in my description or that I've shown here on the screen, and tell me what you won and give me your mailing address. This is going to be shipped UPS so that I can rest assured that it arrives. So again, let me know what your mailing address is, and congratulations to all of the winners of Vlogmas. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your time with me during December. Today's giveaways. I have 3 giveaways for you guys today. I'm going to try to sprinkle in Christmas as much as possible this year since I am doing a year of Christmas. I hope to encourage you guys to as well, but we're also going to incorporate some other favorites throughout. So today's giveaways, please be a US resident, please be over 18, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and leave the keywords of what you're interested in your comment somewhere. I use a random comment picker to choose winners. So first up, we have a little bundle that I have curated. I do apologize that my chart got a little bit bent. I've not even used it. I don't know what I did to it. This is the Heart in Hand, Birds in the Hand Valentine's Day stitch. It does come with the little charm here, still in here. It's not been used. It just had a little accident and got a little bent. So you're going to get the chart. I also have some of this, I think it's Icelandic gray linen. I don't know what count it is. I don't know. I got it in something and I'm not using it, and I thought it was really pretty. And 5 of these beautiful flower thread colors, and I think they're kind of Valentine's-y. You're going to get all of this. Use the word Valentine somewhere in your comment if you would like to get this, and it's all going to come in this wonderful little project bag with a pink zip. So use the word Valentine somewhere in your comment. For my Christmassy bundle this week, I have the Fat Quarter Shop Merry Mini Simply Signs. I have December Shelf Life. And I have the Lori Holt Stitch Card W. Plus, I have some white linen. It is mystery count. I'm going to bet it's 28 or 32, but I'm not sure. You might have to measure it. White is always great for those kinds of things. And I have a 32 count in this beautiful, it's called, this is Picture This Plus, cannot read, Serene. Okay, so I picked this. It's probably not showing great here, but I thought if you stitch this on this color, it would look so awesome. So I'm going to include these 2 cuts of linen and these 3 charts and a red zippered project bag. Use Christmas somewhere in your comment if you would like to win this giveaway. Okay, and then I did not even have this in my WIP Parade because it needs rehomed, and I had pulled it out a long time ago, and I saved it, instead of for Vlogmas, I saved it for the new year. It's all of these Cosmo threads because I am giving away the Mad for Plaid chart from Hands On Design, and I am also giving away the 32 count charcoal gray Lugana. This is actually what I am stitching my year in chalk in. I love it. It's a huge piece, and I know I started one of them in a corner of this, so that's a mystery. But it's a huge piece of this. This was 27 by 36. I think most of it is in here, maybe not all. There's a lot of fabric still in here. You're going to get the fabric, the Lugana, the chart, all of the Cosmo floss already on floss drops, and all in this project bag. Use the word plaid somewhere in your comment for a chance to win. That is it, my friends. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this week's Stitching with Nichol plus WIP Parade episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I have in my craft closet, in my WIP stash, and as well as joining me for that little look into the Silver Needle in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They are a fantastic shop. I highly, highly recommend. Thank you guys again for joining me for Vlogmas. I know I've said it several times, but I truly appreciate you guys joining me and being excited and having as much fun as I did during December, and I'm already looking forward to this year's. Have a wonderful, crafty, stitchy week, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye! If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new FlossTube stitching or quilting video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.